Are we live? Are we live? Did it do? It keeps saying connection issues. Everybody hear me? Everybody good? All right. Well, that's not the introduction I was initially going to do. For some reason, StreamYard wants to completely go out and say I'm not connected to the internet, even though I am. So, anyway, good evening, everybody. I hope everybody has had a great Thanksgiving. We're going to be doing a chill stream, playing some Hollow Knight, or correction, we're going to be doing a lot of dying in Hollow Knight. Yeah. This is a deceptively hard game. And everybody's starting everything out right, from all the Under Oath lyrics I'm seeing in the chat. Thank you, Kid Fury, for that. I do not have enough to buy anything, but I'm going in here anyway.
Bapanada.
Nope. See, I did a practice run through this, and I lost all of my cash because I died so much in this game. This is a deceptively hard game. So if the ones who were here for the Doom stream thought it was hilarious that I kept dying in that game towards the end, they're gonna get a kick out of this. But a few little housekeeping things. I got my controller working, so I am playing on controller. Got a lot of things worked out with the computer. Thank you to everybody who suggested Pika OS. This has been an amazing experience with Pika OS, so I am very happy. It's been wonderful. Yes, my face is my shield. And if you've got questions and everything, and I'm not answering them, especially on a harder part of the game, just spam the chat until I see them. Because again, this is a deceptively hard game. This one and Cuphead are, and I usually don't make Dark Souls comparisons because they're kind of overdone and a little bit cringe. But this is one of those games. It's like it gets it's the Dark Souls of whatever. It's a Dark Souls of bug people, I guess. And this is one of those guys that, even though he's a low-level guy, like, I really don't like fighting this guy. Because of that. See? Exactly. Y'all are gonna watch me die already. Right there, see? I gotta heal myself. Hold on. It's just one little hit at a time. It's all it takes. Yeah, I got him. Hot dog. Wish I had $1 million. Hot dog. Hello, Gore Gremlin. How you doing? There was a little worm guy here that I freed on the last time I played this. Again, I'm not resetting the game because no. Because this game is just no. It's embarrassing to say, but it took me absolutely forever just to get to this spot where I'm at. Very terrible. I'm a very, very terrible gamer guy. Hello, Bugman. Let us listen to you. Oh, that seems ominous. Thoughts on more edgy, dark comics like Mark Millar comics? Well, I mean, I respect a lot of what Mark Millar does with his work. Sometimes edginess can be a little bit overplayed, in my opinion. I think that Millar has... I'm a little torn on Mark Millar, to be honest with you. He's a decent guy from what what I hear, and I like a lot of his stories, but at the same time, sometimes he can lean into that edginess for edginess sake, in my opinion. Oh, this is where I died last time. I gotta get my money back. No, I'm getting my money back. Yay! That was only 17. I thought I had more than that. What did you guys... Oh, see what I'm saying? The most smallest of enemies, and I die. Because I'm trying to be a good host and answer questions in the chat. So, you got to do this all over again. But to answer the first question Kid Fury had, what did you guys eat for Thanksgiving? Normal stuff, turkey, ham. My wife made a really nice pumpkin cheesecake pie, which was nice. I like that. And then, what was the other one? What is the Lutherans' view on annihilationism? I think I answered this in the last live stream we did. Was that we're talking about the Vatican and Mary and stuff. Anyway, yeah, annihilationism is against the confessions, because obviously we have the creeds, which, and historically in the church, it's not been attested to. I don't think it's biblical. You would be hard pressed to find anything in the confessions that would actually have a supporting view of annihilationism. I don't even know if any Lutheran groups actually have annihilationism. I mean, if someone corrects me on that, I'm willing to look into it, but I don't remember any of the alphabet soup of Lutheranism that actually believes in annihilationism. Should not have done that. There is a strategy to this game. So. Pumpkin cheesecake pie. Yes, I am a very lucky man. My wife actually went to school for her first degree, was actually in culinary arts. So when she was in college for the first, her AA degree is in culinary arts, and then she decided to go the completely opposite route and get a digital arts degree, which has served her pretty well, I would say. But anyway, yeah, she's really into baking and stuff like that. So I married up, married way above my weight class for sure. All right, I'm not gonna die to these guys again. I say that right after they just take one. I'm just gonna heal myself real quick. What is the Lutheran view on the movie Annihilation? Which one? Mortal Kombat Annihilation? Or there's a lot of movies named Annihilation. Which one are we talking about? Give me my money. Yeah, gotcha. Get out of here. Which comic heroes have the best morality on killing? Let's see. Well, Batman's morality is kind of weird. I don't like it. He doesn't even, even in later comics, there's some comics where Batman's even going against the death penalty, for criminals in prison, which is absolutely cringe. I mean, that would be completely going against what St. Paul says in Romans 13. That's not in every single Batman arc, obviously. I think Daredevil has a pretty good stance on it, but because there's some, especially in the Denny O'Neil run, where yeah, he's okay with criminals getting the death penalty, but he's not the one to do it. He's not judge, jury, and executioner kind of thing. He sees himself more as a avenger of evil rather than someone that's willing to deal out that kind of justice. So usually Daredevil is the default for me. I'll say Daredevil's the best at whatever. Let's see, the Padme one with the other guy from the Star Wars I never watched with the Screaming Bear. I'm not familiar with that movie. I am not familiar with the Padme Screaming Bear Annihilation movie. That's I have to check that out. Hey, there's one of them worm guys. Come here, worm guy. No, get up here. Watch me. I'm a video games journalist, guys. I can't platform. See, it would have been really bad if we played Cuphead tonight. Then I would show how boomerific all of my controls are. Funniest video you've ever seen. Actually just watched, maybe it's recency bias, but I watched a interview with Gabe Newell, and he talks about like how video games are basically like if you had a lead actor that was autistic. Basically that's what playing video games feels like. Is like you're the lead actor of a movie and you're autistic. And I agree. I think that that's correct. Get away from get these flying things. I'm trying to look at the chat and one of these flying things keep coming at me. Get out of here. Bunch of women go in a weird zone. See, not paying attention. These low-level enemies, they'll get you if you're not paying attention. Right. No, there's nowhere to go here. Alright. Sorry if I don't talk too much. This game is one of those games, again, that it's like, I feel like I have to concentrate super hard, or else I'm gonna die every which way. So please keep me not bored, and talk and chat. Ask questions. I'm gonna try to go to this store now. I think I've got enough to get the compass. Was it 200, right? 220? Ah. I gotta get 20 more. No, wait, that's yeah. 20 more. Goodbye, this quill. Now, I want the compass. Because I can't see, like, if I pull up the map, if I remember how to pull up the map. Yeah, I can't see myself. on here. Unless I have the compass. So I need to go back, and I need to get 20 more of these without dying, so that I can see where I'm at. Favorite secular band in metal? Ooh, that's a good question. Probably Megadeth. Although Megadeth's kind of like, I grew up listening to Megadeth. They're kind of the safe choice. I don't know if this counts as secular, but I do like Killswitch Engage. I mean, they've got Christians in the band, but I think they consider themselves a secular band. So if I had to choose, I'd say Megadeth would probably be the easiest choice for me, at least. Wait, we've already been here. We don't need to go back. Yes, Megadeth and Killswitch Engage are both great. I actually just listened to the other day because I'm in the middle of setting up a like a server with all of my files, like moving all my files to backups and everything, because I'm trying to get away from these streaming services and Spotify and stuff like that. I'm wasting my money on those things. And one of my old CDs that I actually ripped the other day for my server was As Daylight Dies, which is awesome. That's a great record. My Curse, the cover of Holy Diver, I like that. Killswitch Engage is a pretty fun band. And they do have like Christians in the band. And there was a time where they were considered, like they were on like Cornerstone and stuff like that. So, but then again, what most people don't remember, Paramore was at Cornerstone. At one point, Paramore was considered a Christian band, which is insane to think about now. And there was a big controversy with the two brothers that started that band. They left the band, and the reason they left the band was because of like Hayley Williams and her, no longer being Christian and everything else. And they got a lot of heat from it, from Reddit and places like that. Or like these fundamentalist types. They are not fundamentalist types. They were just saying like, we're leaving the band because this was not what we started the band for. And those are the guys that started the band. I mean, I don't understand. I mean, they just don't like it because they're Christians, I think, and they were talking about being against homosexual marriage and things like that. So obviously they're horrendous people. Will you ever get the Gavin Ortland haircut? Maybe. I mean, I don't have a problem with Gavin's haircut. It's fine. My hair looks like poop tonight. All right. The Pilgrim's Way. Travelers of Hallownest descend through variant walls, fungal groves, city, blah, blah, blah. All truths revealed. I don't know. I mean, have they read the Book of Concord? Is the Book of Concord a thing in here? Oh, no. Get out of here. No. Why are you spitting at me? That's gross. That's gross, dude. That's gross. Get out of here. Oh, he's a roly-poly that I can't get unless he... stop. Get out of my way. Hey. Stop it. Get out of there, coward. Come fight me. Quit spitting at me. Coward. I'm not dealing with you right now. I gotta get 6 more to get my compass. 6 more coins. Favorite podcast besides mine? Ooh. Some of these are really good questions because I don't think about this stuff, I don't think about this stuff very often. Let's see. I'll take that back. I think that my favorite podcast besides mine would be Word Fitly Spoken. Not the one with the ladies that I don't know what they talk about on there. Like there's apples and stuff. I'm talking about Pastor Willie Grill's his podcast. Really like it. And unfortunately, I don't think they're doing any more episodes anymore. And if they are, If they are, it's very scarce. But I already got the map from this guy. But yeah, I like Word Fitly Spoken. That's a pretty cool one. But I don't think about it because I usually like episodes of podcasts rather than following a specific podcast per se, if that makes sense. If only the guys from Ghost would become Christian. I don't know, Ghost is overrated as a band, in my opinion. Oh wait, I have 220. I can go back. No, I just can't die on those spikes, that's the problem. I think I can go back, yeah. No. Get back up there. Get up. Jump really high. Get back where I need to be. Go back and get my compass. Let's get some more just to have some more coinage. Oh, no! Thoughts on As I Lay Dying coming back with new members, of course. Ooh, well, everybody knows what Tim Lambesis did, and I'll be honest with you, there was the video they put out when they were all talking about what he was doing, and he seemed genuinely repentant, and they were talking about their road to redemption with him, like his road to redemption after the whole scandal and stuff. It still felt off to me, and Tim Lambesis has seemed to be, I don't know, he just doesn't put off that vibe that he has actually learned from his actions, in my opinion. I don't know. I mean, I don't know the guy, so I can't say for sure, but he just comes off, especially with all the drama with that band, it just comes off as Tim Lambesis has not learned from what he has done. And if anybody doesn't know, like, he got really big into bodybuilding, and then he got into steroids, stuff like that. Then he renounced his faith. He said he was no longer a Christian, but then his wife was going to divorce him and everything because of all this stuff going on, and then it became, I hate to even say it, he hired a hitman to try to murder his wife, and the hitman basically turned him in. I think that's how that worked. Does Eldona Lutheran Church have much contact with the Latvian Lutheran Church? Not particularly. I think Latvia is Latvia's in communion with the LCMS, right? So they're in the International Lutheran Council. So not much contact. We are in fellowship with the Confessional Lutheran Church of Colombia. We're in fellowship with, of course, the Augustana Lutheran Church in the Philippines. But Latvia, no, we don't really have much contact with them. Although their bishop has some interesting copes, for sure. I can finally get my compass.
Bapanada.
Yay! Oh, wait, I gotta equip it, right? Sit on this bench. All right, cool. All right, now we've got we can see ourselves on the map now. Wonderful. That's going to be great. Great. Now we can head back down there and start. What is Eldona's view on objective justification? All right, so basically, objective justification, at the very least, is extremely unhelpful. Because as much as anybody wants to say it's just another synonym for the atonement, if you look at Walther's Easter sermon, if you look at the formulations of objective justification and how it was initially put with the American Lutherans, this is something that it's not a synonym for the atonement. It's everybody is justified, universally and objectively justified by the atonement of Christ. And that is something that many Lutherans prior to Walther disagreed with. They disagreed with Walther on this. They disagreed with the Norwegians on this. A lot of people, before Eldona was ever a thing, I mean, you had the Tennessee Synod and the Ohio Synod that had different issues with Walther and a lot of his formulations on many different things, but even on this, like they did not see where they were the ones that actually pointed out this might be closer to Huberianism than what we did. You know, we were not the ones that came up with that this was just Huberianism, like microwaved. So what we would say is we stick with the patristic and confessional classical view, which is Christ died for all men in the atonement. He acquires justification for all men, but justification is by faith alone. Justification is only by faith alone. And so we do not speak of justification outside of those parameters, biblical and confessional parameters. We do not say that the entire world was justified in the atonement of Christ, because then you have an issue of, well, if the entire world's justified, then what is the use for the sacraments? What is the use for faith? You know, since the confessions know of no other justification than that which is by faith, then, you know, there's not really another justification. There's not a, you know, objective and subjective justification. What's this thingy? Yay, I get more stuff with that. Tofurkey is 100% anathema. I agree. Absolutely. Let's see. Thoughts on Comicsgate? Yeah, it was a movement. It's a movement that happened, and some of them went completely crazy. And I mean, what is it? Jim's basically dead. Sargon's doing his thing. A lot of the people from Comicsgate, they've gone on to do other things, and I guess it's part of the growth of that. It was a fine movement for the time, but it also had a lot of things that just, I don't know, it seemed like at a certain point there was a lot of infighting, a lot of childishness. But the initial reaction of people who were, you know, going, like, basically saying, hey, comics journalism is corrupt, because you had people that were basically committing adultery in order to get their games reviewed positively. You know, that was a big scandal. And it turned a lot of people, like, there's a lot of people that actually went down that rabbit hole of, they started out as being just general libertarian types, and then they became more conservative, because, you know, hey, you're messing with my video games, don't do that. And then later on down the road, they became Christian. I can't say that every tactic that Comicsgate took was necessarily the right one, but there's a lot of guys that have survived that. I mean, look at Razor Fist. Razor Fist was one in the early days of the Comicsgate thing, but he didn't necessarily go along with the crowd, and now look where he's at. He's Lutheran. He's still making really good content from a conservative perspective, and he's been one of those guys that have been very consistent even after that movement, you know. Sorry, it hasn't been updated in 9 years. Yeah, the technical abilities of some websites are not always great. However, one of our seminarians, Jonathan, he is actually really good at designing websites, and he's been overhauling a few websites for a lot of churches in the Eldona. He did our website at St. Patrick, and I think he did a great job on that. So, Lord willing, a lot of those technical, issues will actually be solved sooner rather than later. But, sometimes it's just you just do what you can with the technology you have sometimes. Whether someone has the time to do it or someone doesn't. If the whole world wasn't redeemed by Christ, then what is the point of this? That's a mischaracterization of that. The whole world being redeemed by Christ, you first have to ask, does that mean you're talking about the atonement? You're talking about that he acquired all those things, he died for the sins of the world? Then sure. We would not disagree with that. Again, we're not about limited atonement or anything like that. But when you get to the actual wording of, is the entire world justified? This is one of the problems that, the objective justification talk can kind of get into when you have, people that won't define their terms. Because justification is a completely different thing from the atonement. Justification is acquired in the atonement, but for one to be justified, one must have faith. And that's the biblical stance on it. And if we continue to try to say, well, then everything, it turns into everything is justification at that point. If we can't define our terms, if we can't, speak with one accord, then everything becomes justification at that point. The atonement is justification, redemption is justification, sanctification is justification, and that gets you into a whole lot more problems than what you could ever imagine, because it's a very, very poor definition. We got to go with, how does St. Paul define our justification? How does the Lord define it? How does the Scriptures define justification? Ah, come on. Stupid flying things. Trying to get back where I need to be. I'm trying to avoid that roly-poly guy. And I fell somewhere else, though. Oh, this might work. Let me heal myself one more time. Let me see where I'm at. I'm in the Forgotten Crossroads. And there's a thing here. Okay. Let's see what we can do. And bam. There, that just... I do not like this. This is a controller throwing game for sure. Which... What? Which breed? Oh my goodness. I don't know. I don't know, man. German Shepherd, maybe? I mean, if you want a tougher broad. Or go with, I mean, Labradoodles are high class. Like, they're really, like, high maintenance. So you may not want to go with that. You know, I think I'm dead. I think I'm dead. If I hit one of these guys again, I'm dead. Oh, come on. You flying thing, you. Nacho Libre or Napoleon Dynamite. Let's see. I think Napoleon Dynamite for the overall story and structure and the memes. I like Nacho Libre too, though. It was fine. Especially the baptism scene, quote unquote. Wish I could figure out. I wish I wasn't such a gaming journalist or gaming boomer, and I could figure out how to get up there. Because, yeah, I'm not going to be able to. I'm not going to embarrass myself. Is Mueller's book, Christian Dogmatics, good? It's a condensed version of Pieper's books. I was thinking of starting with that before getting into Pieper. It's a good primer. I have my issues with Pieper's Dogmatics, as some people do. But if you're going to get into Pieper, Mueller's introduction to it's not bad. It's been a while since I've read it, but I don't think it's terrible or anything. At least as far as what you're intending to do for it. You know what I wish what someone would do? Here's the thing. And this is something that someone's going to steal my idea if I say this out loud. But I'm going to say it anyway. In the 1580 Book of Concord, there is an index in the back of the book. And the only English translation that has ever included the proper index that was printed in Dresden was the Hinkle translation. That translation included the index. Now, normally you would think of an index as something like, well, you know, here's all the passages that of the Book of Concord that talk about this and everything, and you go to that page or whatever. That's not the way that the formulators of the Book of Concord actually did the original index. What they did was they did it in a loci format, where it would actually be a dogmatics text if someone would actually just put the corresponding passages to the parts that are being included in the index. And what I would love for somebody to do, this might be a project for Scholastic Lutherans or somebody to do this, but just take the 1580 index of the Book of Concord and just place the relevant portions underneath the loci format, and that could be a really good dogmatics text, because then we would get rid of all this argument of, well, you know, this thing is said in Pieper's Dogmatics, but this is Pieper's opinion, or Mueller condenses Pieper too much, or whatever. Like, just like have it be the Book of Concord, but in a loci format, based on the index. And if there's commentary that needed to be had, then you put like the commentary for that passage in like a separate font underneath or something, you know. Put it all in Comic Sans. Why not? You know. I'm cribbing a lot of this from my bishop. He actually made this suggestion years ago, and I think it's a great idea. and we could get rid of people. It's like, oh, I don't like what Pieper says here, or Mueller does this or that. That's the problem with dogmatic texts, especially in Lutheranism, is that Lutherans are very particular, especially confessional Lutherans are very particular about our, dogmatics. And that's one of those things. It's like just go with the Book of Concord. If you want a dogmatics textbook, the Book of Concord, done in a Lochi format, would actually be a really interesting proposition. Why am I still here? I'm getting lost. This compass has done nothing for me. I think if I go back here where I came from, and get hit by a flying guy again. Wonderful. Get out of here. Don't like you. And we're back at the cartographers. Is there a way to go past him? Out of here. Nope. I think it's down here. Yeah. At least we got a new path going. Wait, that pastor you did a video on recently, I saw a video of his talking about why he was so mean to Doug Wilson. Okay. Turns out there was a website that has all of Doug Wilson's beliefs. Yeah. I'm not surprised that he was like doing that to Doug Wilson, because Doug Wilson's fodder for these guys. I have to caveat, I don't agree with everything that Doug Wilson says or does, but he's an easy target for a lot of these. Yep, I'm gonna die here. I knew it. Okay. At least I have my compass, because I can figure out where we have been. But yeah, Doug Wilson's an easy target for a lot of these, like, progressive types, because all they got to do is take something that Doug Wilson says, whether it's in context or out, and they just go, oh, see, this is what conservative Christians, this is what they do and everything. And it's like, some of the things they even take Doug Wilson out of context on is not that controversial, to be completely honest, because, I mean, yeah, it's his methods in some way that I disagree with. But some of the things he says, it's like, well, and some of the things they try to get him on, how do I put this? There's a lot of things that you can critique about Doug Wilson, and having met Doug Wilson personally, I know that he would probably accept the critique of a lot of what he does and a lot of his opinions and things like that. But the problem with a lot of these progressive types is that they will get the most bland, boring, milquetoast takes of conservative or so-called Christian nationalist pastors or what have you, and they'll critique that, and it's like, well, a lot of us think that. You realize that a lot of people think that, for example, women should not be pastors. A lot of us think that way, and that's an okay thing. And that's what the progressives go after. They go after mundane ideas that are supposed to be shocking. Because they live in a bubble. They live in an absolute bubble, and they think that everybody thinks like them. And they don't realize that, yeah, most of the things that they critique the conservatives about, or whatever it is, Christian nationalists, whoever, they critique the most boring, milquetoast opinions imaginable. Yeah, I want you to come down here so I can... There. Perfect. Thank you. Get rid of these bugs. Pest control, you know. I'm sorry. Sorry, little worm baby. I can't get you. I'm too much of a games journalist. I can't platform. A while back, I noticed a shift in how media and Twitter atheists speak about Christianity as though it was invented in the 1940s in order to be mean to gays, and yeah. Don't know if they are merely badly ignorant or if it's intentional. Probably a bit of both. It's probably both. I think that some of them are intentional, like some of them intentionally lie about certain things. Just because that's what happens when your ideology is wrapped up in, yeah, like they think they're saving the world is the thing. So if the ends justify the means, then they're gonna lie about stuff. But then some of them are just dumb, just like me when I just jumped off that thing and didn't move. Some of them are ignorant and they don't know any better. They've been told their whole life that this is how Christians are and this is what Christianity is and whatever. All right, now I've got to get these stingy things and avoid their spitting. They got to spit at me because gross. And I can't get out of here until I kill. I think there's this one, and then there's another. There's like two that come after, and I'm gonna die again. That's what's gonna happen. I'm not even at like one of the big bosses. Oh, there we go. I got something. Now I can heal and fight two more of them. Great. And I can die with that. Good. Wonderful. Absolutely great. Alright, let me look since I died again. Best media that was woke but was still kind of good. I honestly, nothing comes to mind straight away. Maybe I'll have to think about that one a little bit. Thoughts on Andrew Wilson? Well, Andrew Wilson loves to get irritated when people point out certain things that he's perfectly fine with pointing out with other people. Once again, there's something to be said about tactics and image and things like that. Obviously, we don't want to fixate on what other people think of us or anything like that, especially from an apologetics perspective. But at the same time, there, you know, 1 Peter definitely comes to mind. The giving an answer with gentleness and respect. It's wise to do that, but as far as like, people will bring up Andrew Wilson's personal failings, and he gets offended by that. He gets irritated at it, but he does the same exact thing to other people, and you can't blame the leftist atheist for using the same exact tactics as you're using, and you get mad about it. You know, if you don't like people using those tactics against you, then don't use those tactics. It's like when Jay Dyer loves to tell people, define your terms, but he gets irritated when they define their terms, and he gets irritated, oh, well, you're not going with this, or you're not accepting the classical Protestant view. It's like, no, we are accepting the classical Protestant view. You're just not being clear. It's the pot calling the kettle black to a certain extent. So I think Andrew Wilson doesn't do a great job with his apologetic strategy. You're not going to kill me this time. Unfortunately, I have no choice but to fight this one because... Alright, got that one. That one's down. Now I gotta... There's 2 spitting ones. Luckily, I have a little bit more health than I did last time, so maybe... If I just don't stop moving. Alright, yeah. Oh, and of course I say that, and then that happens. Wonderful. Alright, got one of them. Boom! Yes! Now the doors are open. Now we can go. Wonderful. I feel like I'm leveling up. Alright, anything else? Yeah, he rage baited Dillahunty about his trans girlfriend. Oh, that's gross. And that's cringe for both of them. Oh, there's a bench. I can save my progress. Yes! Yes, I don't have to go back to that. Good. Alright, save progress. Perfect. Is Nightcrawler a better theologian than Joel Osteen? Absolutely. Absolutely is. Even though Nightcrawler's technically a papist. And, you know, he could probably do without being in the monastery. He should probably read the Book of Concord, to be honest with you. But, despite that, Nightcrawler is a much better theologian than Joel Osteen. Much, much better. I mean, look at that episode where he basically converted Wolverine, you know? Now, he converted Wolverine because, and he did that doing something that Joel Osteen would never do. He took a tragedy and said, look, God is purposeful in what he's doing, and we are safe, and God is good even in the midst of tragedy. Joel Osteen could not do that. That is against Joel Osteen's, like, personal creed. You know, it's all about your best life now and what God can do for you, rather than understanding that, you know, the Christian life is suffering. All right. Remember when Jay Dyer thought that the Helvetic Confession was part of the Book of Concord? Yeah, I think I did a video on that like years ago. That's an old thing. And get out of here. Get out of here. 6, he taught Wolverine some great morality after Wolverine killed a bunch of people who go after girls and stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, this is, okay. Jump up. Woo! Fun. Oh, look, I'm a games journalist again. I can't jump up on things. I'd like to try to get to at least that one boss fight that's here, I believe, before we end the stream tonight. But who knows? Yeah, I gotcha. Your little sword and shield didn't do nothing for you. I just swing. Just swing randomly and hope that you hit him. That's the best strategy. That's a good strategy for life. Just swing away and hope that you hit them. And hope they don't spit and give birth to little spitting babies. It's a good strategy to have, really. You just keep giving birth to little babies. Stop it. Stop it. Stop. Oh no. Your children have killed me. Why have you done this? Oh no. No, I can't get up there. I can't get up there. There's too many spikes. That's another, it's another worm child that we can't save. that I'm not going to attempt to save. Sorry, worm child. Got to deal with not being able to save a worm child in that room. Got to deal with these kids attacking me. What is up with this? Jimmy Olsen is actually Lutheran. Yes, that is true. Jimmy Olsen is. Although, I mean, I'm assuming he would be ELCA, unfortunately. Oh. Right in my face. No, we're going back. Was this where we came already? I think so. Let's try to go downward. Boom. Get some of that. Is there something down here? No, wait, we came through here already, didn't we? Or did we? Oh, now the spit one's following me now? Get out of here. I didn't want to deal with you. You're annoying. Can back you. Oh no. You backed me into a corner. Now I can't even heal. Trying to heal. Dadgummit. Now I gotta figure out where I go back to get my soul so I can get all my money back. I'm not dealing with you, jerk. Do all this again. It's ridiculous. Was Martin Luther immaculately conceived, perpetual virgin? Well, he married Katie, so that's pretty much impossible. If you die again, you have to do a false chord. What? A false chord? Well, you know, don't speak too soon. No, it's you again, spitting bee. You will not. No, I'm not gonna deal with you guys. Nope. There's my soul. Now I'm gonna take him out. Now I get my money back. And oh no, go back. There's that thing up there. Oh, come on! That ain't right. That's just not right. Was I gone? Would redeemed Zoomer become Lutheran if he did steroids? I don't know. I don't know if that's a comment on the effectiveness of steroids or redeemed Zoomer's testosterone levels. Like, that just seems weird. So I was gone for a second. Apparently, despite the fact that I am connected to very good internet through Ethernet, not through Wi-Fi, StreamYard still wants to give me problems. And that's a StreamYard issue. That's not a computer issue. So, luckily, nothing concerning Steam or concerning my OS is a problem. It is strictly a StreamYard issue at that point. Was Luther a Tylenol addict? Well, there's a lot of Lutheran theologians that probably had their daily dose of Tylenol. Their moms had a lot of Tylenol back in the day, if you catch my drift. Would St. Augustine like metal? I doubt it. I doubt it very seriously. Augustine, believe it or not, Augustine is very... You trap me in this corner and you keep jumping. Get out of here. I don't like you. I don't like you spitting either. Both of y'all can just leave me alone. Get out of here. Yeah, get out of here. I don't want you to spawn. Thank you. It's gross. Spitting is gross. I don't like it. Would Luther like anime? Ugh. Ugh. Brother, ugh. He'd probably be very confused. At the very least. Although, there's like the wholesome animes, you know, the like slice of life stuff. I think Luther might be a fan of King of the Hill. And yes, King of the Hill is an anime. It's a slice of life anime. It's a moe. Don't argue with me on it. This one's having babies too. This is ridiculous. Get out of here. Ah, your children. Get out of here. I almost trapped them. Oh, there's another one? Seriously? Stop sending your children to kill me. Oh, inspect. What are we inspecting? A door with an open slot. But that doesn't tell me anything. I mean, I'm sure there's an answer somewhere. Somebody has done a 16-hour lore dump on Hollow Knight, which I refuse to watch. Because lore is for losers. Now, listen while I tell you about my Five Nights at Freddy's theory. Nope, can't go there. Get out of here. Oh no. I woke the mother. Oh, nope. That wasn't a good strategy. At least this one's attacks I can kind of sort of dodge, but then I don't, so wonderful. Oh! I was trying to heal. Stop it. Alright. Got it. Yeah. Yeah, okay. That wasn't the big boss, but that was like what one of the mini bosses, right? Oh no! We have more! It's all these children, they're just coming after me. I'm... Don't disrespect. These children are out of control. These children are out of control. Get back here. Get out of here. Get out of here. Now, let me out. Thank you. I gotta find a bench somewhere to save that progress, because I don't want to do that. Enter. Oh no. What are you?
Tile.
You wield your nail like a club. How much deeper do we have to go? This old village, what a strange dream. This sounds like lore. Sounds like lore to me. I don't like it. Alright, I don't understand. I don't understand, nor do I care. Just need to kill bugs. That's all I need to do. That's really it. That's the point of this game. It's just to kill bugs. If anybody says that there's some deeper meaning to Hollow Knight, they're probably right. But honestly, it's just fun to kill bugs. And there's a bench there, and I can't get to it because game journalism's attacking me. Look at that. Now, I shouldn't go so hard on like I shouldn't be that hard on lore, because I mean, I do say in some of my Substacks that, yeah, you know, there's deeper meanings to things and all that stuff. What I don't like is when you have like these, like I said, 16-hour like YouTube things. It's like, oh, let me tell you that this thing really means that, and you know, but it's so vague that it could mean anything. I don't like that premise. I don't like people trying to pick things out of lore that just, to me, it's just a fun game for this particular thing. I know there's probably some deeper thing in there, but at the end of the day, it's just you're doing bugs. You're killing bugs, and that's cool. Some things don't have to be super deep. And sometimes, I mean, you think about, wasn't it Tolkien that said, like, the deepest truths are actually very, very specific. It's a very specific there's a bench there, and I want to get there because I can save my progress if I get there, but no jump seats. Nope. Yeah, I don't care how many salts you put in this dish. I just like that it tastes good. Exactly. That's how some art, like, there's some art that is very good at lore. Obviously, I mean, I said Tolkien before. You know, when lore is good, it's good. When lore is done purposefully, it's very good. And it can be a very good thing to convey, especially Christian themes and Christian motifs and things like that. The problem is when there's an obsession with lore that's just not warranted. It's just an excuse for people to talk about it on YouTube, is what it is. I hate these stupid spitty things attacking me with their children. Get out of here. Get kids. These children are out of control. I'm telling you. They're multiplying. What in the world? And nope. Run away. That's always the best strategy. Just run away. What would you do if you were frozen for 40 years? I would be chilling. I'd just be chilling. I would still not be able to get that bench, apparently. That means I gotta go up here. I gotta deal with these spitty people. It's not a good thing. It's not a good strategy, really. Did I go this way already? Well, there's something else here, so... No, I did go this way. Dadgummit. Spitty. Oh my gosh. Get out of here. You... I can't... Finally! And I kill the mom and one of the kids come after me. Great. Wonderful. I've lost everything. But apparently this water will heal you too. So that's a good thing. Hey, there's a bit of thing that you can do a 16-hour YouTube essay on. There obviously the water in Hollow Knight, it's a metaphor for baptism, because as soon as you go into the water, it gives you, you know, more of the ability to heal, you know, just like, and yeah. I mean, I'm not necessarily opposed to trying to pull interesting things out of lore or anything like that. I just find a lot of it just to be cringe, and a lot of people just don't know what they're talking about, really. It's like, if the game, and that's another, if the game developers, or if a TV show or movie or something is purposefully meant to be vague, just leave it vague. I mean, there's no point. There's no point in trying to over-explain something. The benches symbolize baptismal regeneration. Yeah. That's why I was trying to, well, I know what, I was trying to get to one with my own works, because I kept, you know, trying to jump and I failed. And so maybe there's something there. Maybe we actually have, all right, next video I do, 16-hour lore dump on how Hollow Knight is secretly Lutheran. That's perfect. Wait, I'm back in the same spot. Dadgummit. I guess I could rest there. I like Mass Effect lore, though. Been a while since playing. Yeah. I was never the biggest Mass Effect fan. I mean, I've played a little bit of the games, but I'm not too familiar with the lore of Mass Effect. Now, Halo, love the lore for Halo. And it's clearly inspired by the Reformation. I mean, they even reference the Reformation in some of the interviews that I've seen with the old Bungie team and everything. I've thought about playing Halo for one of these streams, because there's a lot of material in Halo to work with when it comes to whether it be like cults, the Reformation, you know, things like that. Since the Reformation was actually like suggested by the design team and how they went about the story and stuff like that. See, that's something that actually could work. Oh no. Oh, darn. Now I've trapped myself in an impossible scenario. And that, yep. Since Rome and EU claim the church is infallible, wouldn't it also require that the translators of those early writings would also need to be infallible when they translated them into English? Not necessarily. I think that would be a mischaracterization of how Rome or the East would technically describe what they believe, how the church is infallible. I'm not entirely sure how they would get to that. Oh, this is where I died before. So, but I think that would be a mischaracterization. Because they'll say, well, the church as a whole and the consensus of the church is infallible. But individuals within the church, even popes, can actually, you know, popes can be anti-popes and stuff like that. So how they get to there logically is something, and I think good representation is something we always have to keep up with as far as stupid kids. All right, killed them. Done. Now, if only there was a bench where I can save my progress, I would not lose all of these coins, which I have feverishly attempted to collect. I swear this kid, stupid kid, get out of here. He looks like a teenager. He's just trying to jump and kill me. Can Christians listen to Slayer? I listened to Slayer back in the day. I think Slayer's a little overrated these days, but Kerry King, he's very much an atheist, but the vocalist, he's papist, isn't he? I think he's a papist. And I think, if I remember correctly, he did an interview about his beliefs and stuff like that, and how he separates the art from the artist and stuff like. And yeah, he said some good things in that interview, but at the same time, it was like, I don't know, it's a little bit of a moot point. But I kind of go with the Apostle Paul on this one, where he talks about, look, when he talks about in 1 Corinthians the meat in the marketplace, right? We know those dumb idols are not real gods. We know what's actually going on there. If someone wants to be edgy like Slayer and everything, but yet you enjoy their music, I mean, you know as Christians that means nothing to us. The fact that they do those things. They're doing it to be edgy is really it. There's a lot of bands that are openly blasphemous, and those are the ones that I would stay away from. The ones that are openly blasphemous in their lyrics, in their imagery, and luckily, most of those bands are terrible. I mean, Marilyn Manson comes to mind. Terrible music. Absolutely terrible. In fact, Virginia Creeper, who's a Christian artist, he did like the Marilyn Manson style before Marilyn Manson, and he did it better than Marilyn Manson, because Marilyn Manson is just a hack. He's a hack. He stabbed his band members in the back. Has been, all that stuff. And ironically, you got, a lot of people that say, oh, Marilyn Manson's music's good. I don't know. There's probably deaf people. But it Let me scroll up here, because obviously I'm not going to get on that bench, unfortunately. DSP is currently shopping on screen for a $180 controller and has gotten $860 so far today. What? Really? DSP's doing that? And I can't even get on the bench. Wonderful. Wonderful. Let me pause this for a second. Move up. There we go. Continue. I don't really need to pause right here, I guess. Inspiration's a gift of the spirit. Makes sense. The devil's music would be garbage more often than not. Absolutely. I agree wholeheartedly. Let's see. If a self-professed Christian makes music with blasphemous lyrics, but he does it in tongue-in-cheek, is it still sinning? Well, tongue-in-cheek usually... Let me take a good example of this. So, this is actually something I was talking to my wife about when we were talking about video games, specifically. I'll get to the video game part of that, but I want to use an example from a band called Oh Sleeper. They did an album called Son of the Morning, and one of the songs was from the perspective of Satan himself. And obviously there's going to be some I don't think the song is blasphemous. I think that they're going to be, if you're having lyrics from the devil's perspective and you're making a point about it, then there's an artistic reason for that, and the lyrics are then not blasphemous. It's showing the pride of the devil and how his pride is going to be his downfall, because at the end of the album, the last song is from the perspective of our Lord, and the line, I'll cut off your horns. I mean, that's cool. That's a cool line. So if it's something like that, I don't think that it's actually being blasphemous, because there's an artistic reason behind it. But then again, you have to ask the question: if someone is doing that, you really have to wrestle with how much is too much. Once again, the Apostle Paul says, all things are lawful for me, but not all things are helpful, right? And something may not even be blasphemous at all, but may be perceived by somebody as being blasphemous. Like singing from the perspective of the devil might trigger some people. And I don't mean trigger as in like, I don't mean trigger like, oh, they got triggered, like in the meme way. I mean like someone actually might be genuinely concerned from someone doing that. We have to, obviously not offend the weaker brethren. There's all sorts of things to consider and keep in mind, and I think it's a conscience issue when it comes to something like that. But that conversation that I had with my wife actually centered around Cyberpunk 2077, because there's some things that are redeemable in that game, like the fact that it's the corpos and everything are like pushing things like pornography onto the culture and all that stuff, and that's presented as being bad, and there's something there. It's definitely a lot more redeemable than something like GTA is, because at least they have that sense to say like, hey, this constant advertising of pornography is actually detrimental to society. That's something you're not going to get in GTA. But then again, how much is that? Because you don't want to sand off the rough edges of sin. You want to present sin as it is. You want to present sin as the cancer that it truly is. But at the same time, how much is too much? I could see people saying that something like a Cyberpunk is not a good thing for Christians to play, because it is so explicit in that, despite the fact that they're trying to say that this is a horrible thing that corporations are doing, like within the world of the game, it's not a good thing that they're pushing pornography onto the masses. But the fact that they have to show that message in such a graphic detail can be an issue for a lot of people. All right. Besides outright heresy, which false doctrine inside still Christian churches do you think is the worst? My vote is for purgatory. I would think it just destroys any comfort of the gospel. Yes. Let's see. What was I going to say? I just forgot what I was going to say on that. I'd say anything that has to do with works salvation, semi-Pelagianism. Jesus did his 99%, you got to do your 1%. That to me is extremely concerning, and I think that that's one of the biggest ones, at least for a lot of modern churches. Is the audio gone? Is the audio back? I'm All right. I think the audio's back. May have to end the stream somewhat early, just because StreamYard's wanting to bug out on me. I'm trying to scroll up to catch things that I may have missed. Hollow Knight, not bad. Souls-like, yeah, Souls-like. Thoughts on K-pop Demon Hunters? I thought it was pretty good. I watched it with the kids and the wife, and thought it was a pretty good show, or pretty good movie. Obviously, there's going to be some theological things that not 100% accurate, and that's to be expected. But I think it's perfectly fine. I think Allie Beth Stuckey had a bit of a moment where she was, trying to get them clicks and everything, and it's like, oh, it's a K-pop Demon Hunters bad and everything. I think I posted something about that. It was like, this C.S. Lewis guy, he wants us to think that this Aslan, the lion character, is Jesus, and he's not really Jesus, and that's bad. That's the kind of commentary that Allie Beth Stuckey did on K-pop Demon Hunters. I was perfectly fine with it. Again, you go into stuff like that knowing that, right, this is not gonna, it's not like the filmmakers studied the Book of Concord or studied, demonology, like biblical demonology, before they made the movie. That's not what they're interested in. But what I'm interested in as a Christian and as a parent is, did the movie actually say that the demons were bad guys? Did it actually have something to say when it came to stuff like that? And not only was that the thing, there's some stuff in there that, would fit perfectly fine in a Christian worldview when it comes to things like original sin and to make. Oh, come on. These kids are once again out of control. All right, let me scroll again since I got that. Yeah, stopped playing GTA 5. Yeah. Yeah, that's a stark difference between, and again, I'm not recommending anybody play Cyberpunk, but the stark difference between Cyberpunk and GTA was, one of the very first missions, you actually save a trafficking victim in Cyberpunk. So, question, Pastor, any advice on how to include God in works of fiction in a way that is relevant and proper? Specifically, would it ever be appropriate to have God or one of his angels speak? It's hard to answer that question, because on the one hand, I would prefer, this is just my personal opinion, I would prefer that not be a thing within. Some people can do it well, and it's perfectly fine. This is why I think Narnia is a good example of this, where you have this symbolic representation of Christ. I think to have Christ-like figures rather than to have God himself be the one speaking in there, because we don't want to put words in God's mouth, and that's a big thing. But if you're going to do like C.S. Lewis and have like an Aslan type figure, do make sure that it is as close to what Christ has actually said in the Gospels as possible. Obviously there's some artistic liberty there, but again, you want to be wise in how you do it. You want to be wise in how you portray that. It's not necessarily forbidden, but it is something that we have to be very careful of. Do I listen to King Diamond and Merciful Fate? I did for a while. I used to like both of them. Oh, come on. Landed right on top of that guy. Little bug. If I can only find a bench to get, because I don't want to lose. I've got 500 and some odd coins now. I can't get there. You know what? We're done with that. We're done. Right now, the goal is to just find a bench, and I don't care if I'm... I really honestly don't... There's another one of those guys? Seriously? I think I can skip him. Can I skip him? Yeah, I can go right past him. If I can just find a bench to save my progress, that would be great. Alright. Am I in India? No, I'm... sometimes it feels like it, but no, I'm not. I'm not in India. Oh, come on. This music has become foreboding. Oh, there he is. There's the big guy. Hit you. I'm gonna hit you. Oh no, you're gonna hit me. Sorry. Oh no, I was trying to heal. And I'm dead. Wonderful. Wonderful. Well, at least we got to one of the bigger boss fights. That's nice. Thoughts on the tritone? The tritone is one of the biggest myths in music ever. The tritone is used in some of the best Lutheran hymnody. It is not the devil's note, despite what anybody may tell you. It is definitely not the devil's note. It is that's one of the biggest myths that anybody's ever perpetuated when it comes to music. In fact, I think Adam Neely has a great video on that. There's so many hymns and sacred church music that has the tritone in it that I don't even know. Like, that's just some insane, like, sounds like edgy teenagers made up that myth. Oh, the tritone is the devil's note. No, actually, the tritone is perfectly fine. It's not the devil's note. It's in fact, it's the church uses the tritone so much. The church uses the tritone during the I freed one of the good children, and not one of these bug children that keep harassing me. Oh no, I'm done. I'm done for. All because of you. Yep, done. Well, that was fun. Oh, goodness. I have a feeling that we may never make it back to that boss fight that we were going to do. Yeah. I don't know what to say. See? Look at that. Landed right on him. I should have known better. Was the Frankish Church proto-Lutheran? Honestly, I don't know. I honestly don't know. Favorite type of rotini? Roti? Not sure what that is. Is that rotini? Is this game a lore metaphor about Friedrich Nietzsche's Bugman? Yeah. Well, it's a lore metaphor about how like commentary YouTube is a dying city, and they only survive on games that technically don't have any lore, but they have to make them have lore so they can have a career. Like, let me analyze for the next 20 minutes why I did that in this game, and why this game made me do that, why this game made me play like I'm an idiot. Yep. At this point, I'm numb to it. I'm numb to dying. You eat it with the curries. Well, see, there you go. I don't like curry. I think curry is really gross. It's an Indian flatbread. Oh, okay. Well, that explains why I don't know what it is. How could you say Zinzendorf is better than Muhlenberg? That is a ridiculous take. Is a ridiculous take, and I will not stand for it. We are Muhlenberg respecters in this house. At least you're just spitting at me. You're not having children just to... Trying to heal. Stop. Stop with your foolishness. Oh, more coins. Ooh, I'm rich, buddy. I'm rich, and I'm gonna lose all of it the next time I die, because I can't find a bench anywhere to sit down at. Can't even take a rest. Nothing. Is it true that metal is the genre that is the closest to classical music? Yngwie Malmsteen seems to think that. And it might be true in the more complex forms of heavy metal. Well, heck, maybe even you look at even things like Degent and stuff like that. That's very, very reminiscent of Wagner's like more is more mentality. So I wouldn't necessarily disagree that it's one of the closest musical genres to classical music. Believe it or not, pop music actually steals a lot from Pachelbel, especially a lot of his more melodic compositions. Mariah Carey has a lot of the same melodies in some of her songs. Not the terrible Christmas song, but some of her songs actually, like, legitimately use Taco Bell's music. It's like verbatim, notes and everything. It's not just a homage or a motif or anything like that. It is legit. It's Taco Bell. So there's a case to be made for those things. There's definitely a case to be made that. All right, I got my soul back from this area. That only gave me 100 dollary dues. A bench. Now I've saved my progress. What's this to inspect? A toll machine. Oh, this is where to get the stag. Yes. Yes, I can fast travel now. Wonderful. I'm Moravian, aka unicorn. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of Moravians. Well, that's why. Is that why you had the hot take of Zinzendorf is better than Muhlenberg? Because if you're a Moravian, I mean, that makes sense. Makes perfect sense. Where's my stag? Come here, stag. Come. I shall ride you. Greetings, little one. It's an age. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, yep. Things like, always, but the sound of the bell will always call me back. Okay. Stagways stretch the depths of Hallownest. Okay. Alright. I guess let's travel. But where can we travel? We can just travel there, because that's where we've been. Okay, I guess we'll go to Dirtmouth. Even though I've already been there. Best non-clean vocalist you've heard? I have a bias for Ryan Clark of Demon Hunter. I mean, he's awesome. I think Demon Hunter is probably my favorite band of all time. Them right next to Showbread. Yep, I guess that's the only two places we can fast travel because I'm very bad at this game. Thoughts on Corey Mahler? Where to begin? I think that just like with anybody, there's some things that Corey Mahler says that are correct, but I think that there is way too, like, when he started saying that, like, Yahweh is just the name of a demon god and everything else, like, I could not go with that. I really couldn't, because that's just ridiculous. And that's not the only thing he's ever said that's not great. But I mean, that's one of those big things. It's like, okay, you've gone way like past the point of no return with something like that. I can't get on board with that. And it would be easy to talk about things like, you know, the racism stuff and everything else, but that's done to death kind of thing. And again, going back to what I was saying earlier in the stream about how a lot of people, and this is foreboding, so I need to stop talking before I do this, but it's kind of low-hanging fruit to go with the whole Corey Mahler's a racist and everything else, because you know, again, everybody said it, and some of the things that would not be objectively racist are kind of lumped in with the actual racist stuff. And racism has become a catch-all to mean whatever I don't like. So I'm not going to touch on that aspect of it, but when it comes to things like yeah, saying that you shouldn't use the term Yahweh because that's a demon god, and the idea that there's just certain things that Corey Mahler has said that I would like really disagree with, for sure. To put it lightly, at least. What else? Corey's a guy who said something embarrassing in church once and then ran with it to the extreme and beyond to save face. I could see that, yeah. Kid Fury, thoughts on black people. They're great. You know, can I stay monetized on YouTube? No, it's fine. I think that the culture is something they've got to, I mean, the cultures, I'm a Thomas Sowell enjoyer, so I happen to fall on the it's a cultural thing. You know, it's the culture that defines the people. Okay? So and you pull up all of the race realism stuff about, you know, IQs and stuff, and there's some genetic aspect of stuff like that, but the problem is that IQ is not only determined by genetics. And if you look at Thomas Sowell's research, he does a very fantastic job of presenting both sides, in my opinion, as being perfectly valid. That yes, there is a genetic aspect to IQ and things like that, and that could be an issue with certain cultures and certain peoples, but you also look at, you know, these cultures that had at one point a very low IQ, and then they brought in new elements to their culture, expanded their culture, and not in a globalist way. I'm talking about like actual education, actual reform within their culture, and the IQs start to go up over time. And so there's actually something to be said about, you know, it's probably a lot more likely that the culture is determining a lot of the problems that we see in like urban areas and stuff like that. I'm trying to be as polite as possible so to, you know, stay monetized on YouTube. I already had somebody say that I was a racist because I said that Martin Luther and Martin Luther King Jr. are two separate people, apparently. Yes, because apparently that's racist. But it's not racist to say that I want the best for black people. I can't remember who said this, but there was a guy who was accused of being racist. He was like a political commentator. I can't remember his name. Conservative guy. And he was like, I want black people to build Wakanda. I want, you know, white people to be the best they can be. I want Asian people to, you know, do the best with their culture that they can. Like, that's, and you're calling me a racist for saying that. Like, I want you to do those things. I want you to have a better culture. I want you to have these things. I want you to be prosperous and everything. Why, just because I'm white, why is me saying that automatically racist? That I want black people to build Wakanda. And here's how I think black people can build Wakanda. Well, you can't say that because you're white. Why? I don't understand this. Why? You know? Bunch of my audience are Corey Mahler fans. I was wondering your thoughts. Yeah, a bunch of my audience is too. I'm not gonna hold them necessarily against that. I just think that I'm not gonna hold that against them. I just think that, you know, you have to be discerning about these things for sure. Who do you think you are, spreading goodwill and peace on earth? Yeah. All right, let's try to beat this guy here, because if we can, I will consider this a successful stream. Die. Oh, I ran too close. Got too close to the sun on that one. Oh. Nope. We're not gonna make it. We're not gonna make it. Oh, did we do it? Did we do it? No, we gotta get his fat face. I remember this part of the game. Gotta get his fat face, and then he perks back up, and he drops these things. Goodness, this guy is annoying. Need to run under him the next time. No, 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 no! Oh! So close. So close. Well. Oh well. Don't really need you, Stag. Alright, I think I'm going to wrap this up. It's getting close to 9 p.m. Central Time. So I think we might wrap this up here in just a few minutes. I do like Hollow Knight boss fights. Very cool design. Yes. It's a great game. It really is. In fact, this is one of those things where it really doesn't matter how much I die on this game. It's still a fun game to play. It really is. And I would say the same thing with Cuphead too. It's like, it doesn't matter how much I die on any of these games. It never becomes annoying. It never becomes anything less than fun, which is what this game is. It's just fun. I am willing to take suggestions on other games too, though. I've got a plethora of games that I would like to play on these monthly gameplay live streams. So I've got a list, but I am open to anybody wanting, you know, if they've got a game to suggest or anything like that. Luckily, we're pretty close. No, not Minecraft. My son loves Minecraft, and I'll play Minecraft every now and again with him. But you know what? Me and my son just started playing No Man's Sky, and it is a whole lot different game than what it was. It's been almost... How many years has it been since No Man's Sky came out? And that game was practically unplayable when it first came out. And same thing with Cyberpunk. I refused to play either one of those games until they fixed all of the bugs. But I was thinking like Shadow of Mordor is a good game to play. As you know, we are Tolkien respecters after all here. Oh, come on. Alright. Alright. Get your face. Alright. Get out of here. Your stupid face. Oh, he's so upset. He is upset at me, and I don't blame him. I'm upset with him, too. Really should be running underneath him every time he jumps, and but my strategy is always the worst, so there you go. Yep, just like that. Dadgummit. Oh, I got him again. That was better than last time. He's back at it again. Just let him spurg out. It's fine. Oh no, not good. And we're dead. And we're dead. Trying to heal myself, and I got cocky. Okay. Well, we tried. We tried getting the first boss, and that's not happening. All right. Metal Gear 5. Oh, I gotta remind this. I said this last time in the last stream as well. I am running a Linux machine, so we also have to keep that in mind. Like, I can't play games that are incompatible with Linux, so yeah. Ooh, EU5, yeah, that could be a good one. No mage. Do OSRS live stream. This is embarrassing. I'm gonna boomer myself, but what is a OSRS live stream? I'm not entirely sure. Anybody else got any questions, comments, conundrums, snarks, and criticisms as well? Old school RuneScape. Oh. I gotcha. I don't know. Wasn't too big of a fan of RuneScape. Look at me. I put my controller down. I picked it right back up because I really want to get that boss. Really do. Play Luther and Salter. Yes. Play like, you know what? Someone should make a game. You know, Luther and Salter simulation or whatever. That would be fun. That'd be a fun thing to do. See, this is what I was saying. This game is very addictive, even though it's difficult and it can be frustrating and annoying sometimes. This time, then that's the end of the live stream. That is the end, no matter what. And I'm happy with where I'm saved at, and that'll be fine. Because I know that the save is always where the last place you rested, at the bench. So at least I know how to get back to him. Come back here, soul. Get my little bit of money back that I had. Kill these guys. Of course, that's a false sense of security, because once these guys are down, then boom, here comes a jolly mean giant right here. False knight. Ah, I went the wrong way. Oh, no. No. How was that quick? Oh, he gets so mad. At least I can hide right there. But I really should, when he goes, there we go. Get underneath him when he runs. Oh, dang. All right, we got him a second time. That's good. Get him. False knight. You are a false knight, sir. Get back here. Let him spurg a little bit, and I can heal myself while he's spurging. Wonderful. Oh, that wasn't nice. That wasn't very nice, sir. Oh, no, we're gonna die. Yep, we might end up dying. Yep, we did. Alright. We tried 3 times in a row. We're done. I'm okay with that. I'm gonna live with that for now. We're gonna live with that. Let's see. Endless Sky is Linux and Mac. Lots of reading though. Okay, I'm okay with reading. I just don't like YouTube lore dumps, I guess. There's some lag. Yeah, I know. My internet's terrible tonight for whatever reason. All right, God bless. Yep. Yeah, Kenshi might be a good time too. Doki Doki Literature Club. Thoughts on Green Lantern as an analogy for the Christian life? I actually do like that. Yeah, I do like. I've heard people talk about that and everything, and yeah, I think that would be that. I think that it's a good analogy. It's not overstretching it to say that Green Lantern could be an analogy for the Christian life for sure. All right. Last call for questions or comments or anything, because we're done with the game for tonight. Thoughts on Batman being a papist? Well, we talked about early in the stream. I don't know if you were here, but his no killing thing was very not based and everything. So I mean, Batman, he's cool in some things, he's not cool in other things. So I mean, it's kind of like, what are you gonna do? It is what it is. It's not cool, but he does. I mean, he's got parental issues. He lost his parents, so he's a little bit confused about things. So you can't hold that against him. Am I the new Weeaboo Lutheran? I don't know. You'd have to talk to Weeaboo Lutheran about that, I guess. When are we getting a drum solo for me? I mean, if y'all want a drum solo, I can do one. Thoughts on Wolverine's morality? Wolverine's morality is a morality for Generation X. He's very eye for eye, so that's... Wolverine did become a Christian, canonically, in both the animated series and in the comics, but then they threw that away. Nobody cares about continuity anymore. It's whatever. I can do a drum solo. I can do a quick one if y'all want. That's up to the chat, though. That could be the way we end the live stream. If I remember correctly, that Muhlenberg found the liberal ELCA. Well, it was what he had founded was, kind of sucked into the ELCA. A lot of even the things like the Tennessee Synod and Gettysburg and all sorts of like Lutheran things were sucked in to the merger that happened in the 80s when the ELCA was formed. But it's not fair to put that onto Muhlenberg for what later generations did. That's not necessarily Muhlenberg's fault. All right, so it looks like everyone wants your drum solo. Okay, I'll do something. I got to take the shirt off of the hi-hat. If y'all, I mean, obviously I got the advertisement here, buy some merch, so hopefully y'all can hear this. Okay. Oh, yeah. All right. Did everybody hear that? Was that okay? Was that good enough? 10 out of 10. Cool. I can't believe he had legs. Yeah, I do have legs. Unfortunately, I'm in one of my worst pairs of pants also, so sorry y'all got to see my casual wear, my pants. They're just blue jeans, but you know, normally if I'm in my clergy attire, I'm wearing nice dress pants and stuff like that, but just seemed a little, I don't know. We're doing a casual live stream, so. But yes, I do have legs. And yes, I do play the drums, so they're not just here for show. They are not Hassan Piker's dog, not here for decoration. I actually, that's the instrument I started playing first, was drums. Just caught my monster isn't in the closet, banging his head to that. I'm glad that you broke your legs, Kid Fury, while you were dancing. That sounds wonderful. Sounds wonderful. All right, let's get Hollow Knight off the screen here. Yes. All right, stop sharing. Good. All right, that was fun. I had fun playing that. Really quick, I want to mention something about, I am going to try to start a Discord server. So really the big thing is trying to get the appropriate moderators. So hopefully, Lord willing, very soon, maybe even hopefully before Christmas, I'm wanting to get that started. So thank you everybody that has I can't see myself. Can y'all hear me? Don't let Am I back? Am I back? Did it work? Can y'all hear me? Okay. It did work. Okay. So before anything freezes again, once more, I am going to start a Discord. Not sure exact timeline, but I'm going to figure all that out. Mainly it's getting moderators that I trust and that can actually be of some service to us, especially, being we're going to have a wholesome Christian time, and hopefully everything will work out with that. All right. We're going to get out of here. So let's go ahead and end this live stream before anything else happens.